Coming up on First at 5, millions of dollars are being invested in water resources across the state. How this may impact North Central Florida communities.
Plus, an increase in alligator sightings at a local park in Gainesville. Why they're out and ways you can stay safe in their presence.
And a security breach at the White House. National security officials face tough questions on Capitol Hill. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The city of Archer is set to receive millions from the state for wastewater treatment. This comes in the midst of a partnership with the city of Newberry to help build their next facility. Welcome to WUFT's First at 5. I'm Bailey Korinek.
And I'm Eva Garcia. Governor DeSantis made the funding announcement earlier today. WFT's Caitlyn Schiffer is live in the newsroom. Caitlyn, you learned how much money the city is receiving and where things stand in their partnership with Newberry.
The governor announced $13 million will be going to the city to build a new plant project. It's been more than a year since the Newberry Mayor Jordan Marlowe announced the partnership between the two cities to build the new plant. WFT has followed Archer's water struggle since 2017. According to the Main Street Daily News, last year, the two entered what is called an interlocal agreement. This will allow Archer to use up to 175,000 gallons of capacity per day at Newberry's wastewater treatment plant when an expansion is completed in 2026. In return, Archer will help with the cost of building a new plant in Newberry. In a press conference earlier today, Governor DeSantis says funding projects like this will help improve the supply and quality of water resources.
So the projects that I'm announcing today will reduce harmful nutrients in our water, and they're projected to remove more than 1.1 million additional pounds of nitrogen and 286,000 additional pounds of phosphorus each and every year.
We're working to learn whether the city of Archer plans to use this grant to help Newberry with their treatment facility plans. I've reached out to commissioners in Archer and the mayor for comment on the funding and partnership plans. I've received no comment. Once I have information on this, we'll give it to you at First at 5 and on WUFT.org. Live in the newsroom, Caitlyn Schiffer, WUFT News.
In some of the other cities, the water grant will aid includes Lake City, which will receive nearly $2 million for its septic to sewer conversion project. Trenton is being allocated nearly $2.5 million also for a septic to sewer conversion, and Fort White is getting $12 million for a wastewater treatment plant.
A former Levy County Sheriff's Office employee is off the job and in jail, charged with stealing thousands from the department. Deputies say former financial director Nicole Gore turned herself in earlier this month. Gore was suspected of stealing money for almost 6 months before it came to light. FDLE was asked to investigate after the deputy found some discrepancies with multiple department credit cards. The police report says she made more than 100 purchases totaling over $13,000. Deputies say in total Gore stole nearly $23,000.
The Lake City Police Department is investigating a suspicious death. Officers discovered an unresponsive person in a vehicle at a Home Depot just after midnight. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Lake City Police Department.
Let's take a live look out at over I-75 at Paynes Prairie. Looks like the roads are staying as clear as the sky today as Florida comes back from spring break. So does the sunshine. Let's head over to UF forecaster Matthew Clark, tracking the warmer temperatures for the rest of your week.
Yeah, we actually got some blue skies over our campus cam right now. Yesterday, coming back from spring break, it did not feel like spring. It was rainy. Today, totally different though. We got some sunshine, blue skies, and a little bit of clouds, and some light winds from the northwest right now. It's a part of this cold front, bringing in some strong thunderstorms down south, but all is clear here. We're going to notice that cold front start to move its way towards our area, only going to bring some north winds, going to cool us down ever so slightly. Not going to notice it too much. Temperatures, though, for the rest of our area, 82 in Bronson, 83 in Gainesville, and then 82 down in Ocala. It's quite a nice evening out there. Temperatures are going to drop a little bit more than they did last night. We're going to be into the lower 50s as we head into tonight. Not going to have much fog tomorrow morning as we did this morning because those winds are going to be a little bit higher. But coming up, I'll have that high pollen count. It's still allergy season. It's going to continue, and some weekend rain chances coming up in a few.
There's only 1 week left to utilize Gainesville's public transportation for free without an ID card. RTS offers free bus fares for riders 65 and older and those 18 and under. A new policy is requiring eligible passengers to carry an RTS ID to ride for free. The Gainesville Transportation Department announced the requirement last October to reduce fraud and address budget cuts. The city launched the Fare Free Transit program in 2021. Since then, eligible riders have taken over 1.6 million trips.
It will also probably support the program and make sure that the people riding are within the guidelines.
Riders must have their ID before the April 1st deadline. You can get a free digital ID or pick it up as a physical card at RTS headquarters.
A mobile clinic is making healthcare more accessible for residents in need of essential services. The Florida Health Mobile Unit provides healthcare across the county free of charge. The unit set up shop right outside of the Marion Oaks Community Center from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It offers health screenings, vaccinations, testing, and educational resources. Marion County resident Albert Padilla said he wants to see the unit in his neighborhood more often.
More often, I would say. More often have them come out for people that can't make it at certain times.
The bus can be seen 3 to 5 times a week throughout the county. The clinic is a community outreach program for residents in more remote areas. Residents interested in these services can find the bus at the same time tomorrow at Interfaith Soup Kitchen.
Newberry's mayoral candidates will debate tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the City Hall. The candidates are current City Commissioner Tim Martin and former Commissioner Joy Glanzer. Jordan Marlowe, the city's mayor since 2017, will be moving to a new role as city manager. The election will take place on April 8th with 2 commissioner seats also in play. In tomorrow's debate, the 2 mayoral candidates will discuss economic development, visions for the future, and governing philosophies. Early voting ends this Friday, the 29th, for the Marion County special election to fill Congressman Mike Waltz's spot. The special election will be held on April 1st with Republican Randy Fine facing off Democratic Joshua Wheel. As of today, nearly 10,000 residents have already voted.
The Florida Museum of Natural History is beginning a large-scale expansion project that has temporarily closed Powell Hall and its public exhibitions. This expansion to the front of the building will allow the institution to better serve the community through new state-of-the-art exhibitions and learning spaces. It'll have an updated modern facade, renovated and expanded guest services, and a larger collector shop. The museum anticipates reopening in 2026.
After the break, a potential security breach plunges Washington into drama, the implications and how top officials are responding.
And a local business finds renewed success after making it on the big screen. The impact on the owners from increased exposure. Stay with
us. You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Neighbors in Alachua County are finding themselves sharing sidewalks and other spaces with some unlikely company, alligators. WFT's Hayli Balgobin is live at Depot Park, where neighbors have been reporting an uptick in sightings.
Not only is it great to be a Florida gator, but a gator in Florida. There have been multiple gator sightings like the one we see right here, right now, swimming in the pond or resting on shore. They're green, they're scaly, and now they're active. Alligators have been making their presence known at Depot Park this season, prompting fascination and caution amongst visitors.
I've never seen a gator so close up before.
Me too.
Me three.
But the Florida Fish and Wildlife says as the temperatures heat up, neighbors need to watch out for these more active reptiles. And for visitors like Amber Burke, seeing the gators in their natural habitat is much different from seeing them in a zoo setting.
Yes, it was very cool seeing the gator really close up and being able to spend like a lot of time just kind of watching it, whereas like, you know, when you're at a zoo, there's a lot of people and you got to kind of keep moving and maybe they're not as active. So he was pretty active. I mean, he was swimming pretty fast.
Wildlife biologist Lana Ng says we're on the cusp of gator mating season, where the animals are more present in unlikely locations.
And around this time when the temperatures start warming up, they come out of brumation, they're looking for food, they're looking for mates, so that causes an increase in activity. Especially in alligators, courtship begins in early April. So right now at the end of March, they're moving around trying to look for mates before breeding and nesting season.
Ng goes on to say, while gators don't see humans as threats, you still need to be aware of your surroundings when in their territory. Some other tips include not feeding the alligators because it is illegal, staying away from the edge of any body of water, and keeping your pets close by because a gator might see them as their next meal. Live in Depot Park, Hayli Balgobin, WUFT News.
Some of the president's top national security officials face tough questions on Capitol Hill. This comes a day after a journalist was accidentally included in a group chat discussing disclosed military plans.
Sloppy, careless, incompetent behavior, particularly towards classified information.
Amid a national security firestorm, the Trump administration's highest intelligence leaders grilled over how they discussed sensitive and potentially classified military information in a group chat that included a journalist, the CIA director, and director of national intelligence confirming they were on the chat, but denying any information on the attack in Yemen was classified. Democrats calling them out.
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security
Because
Council.
it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
The timing of U.S. airstrikes, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and therefore the timing of sending U.S. air crews into hostile airspace, correct?
Yes.
The National Security Council already authenticated the exchange on the messaging app Signal, which happened just hours before the U.S. attacked Houthi rebels in Yemen. Atlantic Magazine editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg says National Security Advisor Mike Waltz inadvertently invited him to the chat.
I received a text in this chain from Pete Hegseth detailing the war sequencing, the attack sequence, weapons packages, targets, all that sort of thing.
Goldberg releasing screen grabs of the text that describe how the Vice President, Secretary of Defense, and others talked about the attack and celebrated.
The CIA director came in with operational information. The National Security Advisor came in with after-battle assessments, or actually during battle assessments of the damage done.
President Trump standing by Mike Waltz.
Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been.
Some Republicans concerned, but trying to avoid the incident.
I'm saying there needs to be more investigation.
Vaughn Hilliard, NBC News, Washington.
A wave of storms is going to form later this week and head our way as we move into the weekend. I'll have the rain chances and how it will impact your weekend after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Well, we are back from spring break, and it certainly feels like spring outside.
I was not a huge fan of that rain yesterday. Can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect for the rest of this week?
Sunshine and sunshine. It feels like spring out there, and overlooking that campus cam, guys, it looks like spring. That is for sure. Look at those blue skies out there, 84 degrees. It feels like a Florida spring day. Much nicer day today than it was yesterday. We saw a little bit of sunshine yesterday, but not nearly as much as we have today. Temperatures, though, for the rest of our area, also seeing 80s, 82 down in Ocala, 80 in the Villages, 82 in Plaka. It is a beautiful afternoon out there. It's also a little bit breezy out there. These wind gusts aren't too high, but they are still noticeable. 8 miles per hour here. West coast of Florida, though, 15 in Cross City and 16 miles per hour over in Cedar Key. Just enough to keep the fog away tomorrow morning, though. So not too noticeable wind, but it's going to keep that fog away on your way to work tomorrow morning. So those clear skies, they're going to remain overhead as we head into the evening hours. Going to drop into the lower 50s as we're waking up tomorrow morning. Look at that, 52 in Gainesville. Woke up 59 yesterday, 52 in Ocala, and 58 down in the Villages. So not noticeably colder, but it is going to be slightly colder. There are some storms down in South Florida right now, but here it's feeling like spring. There's also a cold front right now that's draped over Tennessee that now we're not going to feel it that much, but notice how these winds are going to shift from the west to the north. So that's all we're going to notice. And I also want to point out that these storms over here in Tennessee, the atmosphere is not very moist right now. A lot of dry air, and it's going to just evaporate. So we're not going to get much rain at all from this cold front. It's just going to drop those dew points a little bit. So we are going to get a little bit of a relief. Taking a look at that muggy meter, that's that relief we're talking about. When we're in the 40s in that dew point, it's feeling nice outside. It is not nearly as humid as it's going to be. Pollen, very high. If you have a car, you're noticing that pollen, so it's going to be drier outside. Pollen is going to be there still. This weekend, as we head into the weekend, even though it's Tuesday, Saturday is your day to going to be outside. Sunday, though, we could have some thunderstorms on our schedule. So Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, there's going to be some storms off in the Gulf that's going to move its way towards our area Sunday morning, very early Sunday morning, and then by Sunday afternoon, this is just one model showing a pretty extensive outlook on the storms across Central Florida, but thunderstorms could be possible as we head into Sunday afternoon. 20% chance of rain right now. That's a little bit more of an extensive model, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms on our Sunday. But look at that. We're seeing spring temperatures all across the board on our 7-day outlook. 80s all across the board with that 20% chance of rain on Sunday into Monday morning. But it's going to get pretty warm as we're heading to spring, and then summer's right around the corner, guys.
Local restaurants are getting an influx of new customers after host Guy Fieri brought his shows Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives here to Gainesville. 4 local restaurants were featured on the show, 2 of which are housed in 4th Avenue Food Park. A bagel shop named Humblewood Fire and meat market named Forenbacher's Meats and Eats. Chef and owner Adam Forenbacher says they are pleased with the exposure the show brought and are happy to see the benefits.
People from all over the state have been coming in to see what we've got. We've got a really unique product, and we do our best to do a good job, and I think that reflects in what was shown in the show.
Fehrenbacher hopes his exposure continues bringing in new faces into his restaurant.
From dinner plates to the home plate, Gator baseball faces off against Florida State tonight in a midweek matchup. Despite struggles in the bullpen and a recent series loss to Georgia, the Gators hope to bring in some runs tonight against the Seminoles. Baseball and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Shelby Hotz. Put on your war paint. Florida baseball prepares for battle tonight against Florida State in Jacksonville. UF took home the W in their previous meeting earlier this month. But with the Gators' pitching ranks depleted, there are some concerns for the Gator boys heading into the midweek matchup.
We have to figure out the starting pitching. We just can't go 2 innings, 3 innings and some change. I mean, we're going to have to figure out 3 guys who can go, 5 or 6 innings. I know we're a little banged up on the mound a little bit and that type of thing, but at the same time, some other guys need to step up.
Without leading Gator arms in Liam Peterson and Pierce Capola, both absent from last week's Georgia series due to injuries, the rest of the bullpen struggles to keep up. On the other hand, the Noles boast strong pitchers in Joey Vellini, Peyton Prescott, and Mason Martinez, and just secured a series victory against Miami. The rival teams face off in Jacksonville tonight at 6 p.m. It's wins on wins on wins for Gator basketball. Florida secured a ticket to the March Madness Sweet 16 on Sunday after their nail-biting win over UConn. And here's a little extra sweetness. Today, the official Naismith Trophy X account revealed Walter Clayton Jr. is a finalist for their Men's College Player of the Year. And while we wait, you can vote for the Naismith winners in multiple categories by scanning the QR code on your screen now or going to naismithfanvote.com. Bring on the basketball. Florida Gator Queens of the Hardwood advanced to the WBIT quarterfinals for the first time in program history. On Sunday, an assist from Jariah Warren turned into an electric buzzer beater to beat UNLV 86-84 and advance the Gators in the tournament. And one final note, Gator Gymnastics has been slotted as the 3rd seed going into the NCAA Gymnastics Championships. That's all for sports, but stay with us. A final look at your forecast after the break.
80s across the board, and we're going to see that sunshine for at least the next couple of days. A cold front is heading our way this week. Not really a cold front, it's more of a dry front. It's just going to dry us out ever so slightly. Not going to be your Florida humidity before we start getting that humidity back this weekend, and it's about a 20% chance of thunderstorms on Sunday into Monday morning. But right now, we're enjoying beautiful spring weather and beautiful baseball weather. Right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure Gator fans are going to be checking the forecast over in Jacksonville, hoping for some sun for a Gator win.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Shelby. And thank you all for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all of our social media platforms. Have a good night.